Baby, them contractions started coming on so strong. I said, y'all ain't gonna make it. It's induction day. Are you excited for your baby brother?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Ready?
I'm ready.
The gameplay song.
Today is Thursday. I was supposed to call the hospital at 5 o'clock just to see, like, if I can come in. And they said, they told me to wait. They told me to wait till 7:30. And then she just called and said she'll call me when they're ready for me to come in, which may be in the middle of the night. Who knows? So we're just kind of on standby. I'm going to go through and show you guys what I packed in my hospital bag. And yeah, my appointment went good earlier. He's fine. I'm fine. But yeah, we're just kind of waiting around at this point. What you got to say? Are you excited for your baby brother?
Yeah, no.
Oh, Kinsley, you not excited?
No.
Why not? You are excited. You not excited to be a big sister?
Yeah.
So you excited for him to come?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You don't know what you want. How you feel, Dad?
Feel good. I'm ready to get it over with.
You ready to get it over with?
Yeah, I'm ready to get it over with. Because I know it's going to be some long nights in the hospital room. And I know you're going to be going through it on the hospital bed. I hope they got a comfortable couch for the dads this time. That's all I can ask for, is a couch that doesn't separate when I try to lay down and I fall through it every time I doze off, like the first time. But I'm excited.
Okay, y'all. So I know this vlog is kind of like all over the place. I thought this vlog was gonna go differently than it's been going, but I do want to show you guys what I put in my hospital bag. So the first time around, I had a bag. I had a duffel bag, like a little weekend overnight bag. Chavis had a bag. And then I can't remember, I think we carried the diaper bag for the baby. But this time around, to reduce like the amount of stuff he has to carry, we're just all gonna fit our stuff in this one suitcase. We're just gonna make it simple. We're not doing all the separate bags. So I have a dark towel and a dark washcloth for myself. It's not completely necessary, but I just prefer to take my own. What do I have in here? Let's see. I packed most of the stuff in packing cubes, but this stuff I put in here. So I have some lotion. I have some nipple cream, which also might not be necessary because I think they gave me some with Kinsley, but I packed it just in case. It doesn't hurt. A laundry bag for our dirty clothes, nipple covers for leaking milk, which I probably will not need, but once again, I mean, if it fits in the bag, I'm fine with taking it. I packed some socks. I'm also gonna go in another pair of socks. So with Kinsley, I wore a pair of socks during labor, and then after labor with all the fluids and everything, they just got messed up, so I just threw those away. And then I had another backup pair to wear for the rest of my hospital stay. So that's why I'm bringing 2 pairs of socks, and I just have a scrunchie in here, my bonnet. And then I have this After Ease for after birth contractions. I had this with Kinsley as well. I didn't use it as much as I should have, but I decided to buy it again and use it like it's intended to be used this time around. I'll move this folder. I have some toiletry items, whatever toiletry items you need. So I'm not going to go through that, but you know, the normal toiletry items. And my husband has one as well. I have a pair of slippers. I have shower shoes. And then these are my packing cubes. So this is really like where my stuff is. This is baby's bag. Let's go through his bag. So I brought 2 different swaddles. We'll see if we use those because of course you can swaddle with the hospital blanket. So not sure if we'll use those, but I mean, it fit in here and I just wanted to bring them just in case. I have burp cloths. I brought this nail file. I didn't bring one with Kinsley to the hospital, but when I was like looking at other people's TikToks and stuff like that, some people brought nail files to the hospital because, you know, their nails can be long when they first come out. So we'll see. I probably won't even use this. Pacifiers, probably will not use those in the hospital. I didn't with Kinsley, but I'm gonna bring them just in case. Aquifer, because we swear by Aquifer. And then I have 2 options for newborn, and I think I have 1 0 to 3. He is measuring on the smaller side, so I think the newborn will be fine. So pretty much just going home outfits, and then I have mittens and socks and 1 hat or 2 hats in here. But for baby, you really only need like a going home outfit. You don't need diapers, you don't need wipes, you don't need any of that because the hospital provides it. So yeah, that is babies. So there are a few like unnecessary items in here, but we'll see if I use them. If I don't, it all fits. I told myself as long as it all fits in this cube, then it's free game. If it doesn't fit, then I don't need it. So we can go on to my cube. So I have 2 nursing bras in here. They're the kind that just kind of, these, I'm going to take one that clips down. If you're familiar with nursing bras, but this is the one that is just like, it's crisscross and then you just pull it down. There's no snaps. I didn't use these with Kinsley, but they seem like they'll be good for like in the middle of the night. So I'm excited to try this style of nursing bra this time around. I have a robe. I have a going home outfit, which is just a t-shirt and sweatpants. And then I have 2 pair of pajamas. The only reason why I'm bringing 2 pair of pajamas instead of 1 is because 1 is short sleeve, 1 is long sleeve. So depending on if I'm hot or cold, I'll wear either one. So yeah, so just a going home outfit, 2 nursing bras, a robe, and then 2 pair of pajamas. So I'll probably only wear 1 pair of pajamas. I'll either do the pajamas or the robe, most likely. So we'll see which one I end up using. I just wanted to give myself options. And then this is also kind of like postpartum care. Now, I do want to say I tried to pack minimal, but then I also packed things that I thought would help me, because you don't really need like the postpartum care. Child, I can't get the thing. Oh, it's not supposed to open that way. You don't really need to bring your own postpartum care because the hospital provides you with everything you need, like pads, stuff like that. So I do have some stuff in here. These are the Freedom Mom boy shorts, and then some of like the Always underwear. After Kinsley, I prefer these instead of what the hospital gives you. They give you like the mesh underwear to put everything in. So initially I'll probably wear what the hospital gives me, and then depending on how long we stay or after I take like my first shower, I'll probably either use the Freedom Mom boy shorts or the Always underwear instead of what the hospital gives you. And then this was like my saving grace with Kinsley. This perineal spray, it just felt so good to put on. So I'm definitely bringing this. And I think they provide you with like Dermaplast at the hospital, and then they give you tucks. So I do have some tucks here at the house. I'm not going to bring them with me. I'm just going to leave them for when I get here. And then I'm going to bring the Perry bottle. I am bringing this. The hospital will give you a bottle. However, it doesn't have the hook. Like this one is like angled and it has the hook. So it's easier to like spray down there instead of what they give you. Theirs is just not as convenient. So I'm bringing my own Perry bottle. And I know this, I'm going to use this. This is going to be helpful. So yeah, that's what I have for like postpartum aftercare. I probably won't even use the pads at all. I'll probably just use what they give me, but I'm just packing them just in case. Okay, so a few other items I'm bringing. I am bringing a speaker. We did use this during Kinsley's birth. So I know it's going to be useful. I am so out of breath. I can barely talk. I know the speaker is going to be useful. It was nice just to have that background music to set the vibe while I got induced the first go around. So definitely bringing this. This is something that I'm not even sure if I should bring it. So like I said, when I was watching TikTok and stuff, some people brought their stroller fans, or like some type of small fan just in case they got hot during labor. So we'll see. I might bring it if there's space for it, and then if I use it, I use it. If I don't, then no big deal. But yeah, we have that. So I am bringing the hatch. I didn't bring Kinsley's hatch when she was born. I didn't take it to the hospital, but I'm going to take it this time around. And it's like a sound machine and a night light all in one. We swear by the hatch. Kinsley's 2.5 and we still use her hatch. So I definitely got baby boy a hatch as well. And then this is something that I didn't have with Kinsley that is new, but I got a mini portable diffuser. I wasn't going to bring this. I decided to put it back in my bag when I found out I was getting induced, because obviously it's going to be like a longer process. And I might bring some essential oils to kind of set the vibe in the hospital room, just like the same reason why I'm bringing the speaker. So now that I know I'm getting induced, I think I might bring this diffuser just to set the vibe, and I know it's going to be like a little bit of a longer process than me just going into labor on my own. So I have that. I'm going to fit all this into this little packing cube, and then we can just get out whatever we need. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to bring my boppy, and then I'm going to bring baby boy a blanket. So yeah, and then my husband has his stuff packed, and then I have some snacks that are mainly going to be for him. But then after I give birth, I'll be able to eat some of those snacks as well. That's really it, guys. Also, since I know I'm getting induced, I may throw my computer in the bag. I told myself my limit is whatever can fit in the suitcase goes. If it can't fit, besides this boppy, if it can't fit, then I don't need it. So I tried to pack, like I tried not to overpack. But then again, I don't want to not pack enough and then be wishing that I had something, because I'm not sure how long the process is going to be. So yeah, as long as it fits in the suitcase, it's good to go. And I do want to apologize because I wanted this to be more aesthetically pleasing. I was planning to do a full what's in my hospital bag video, but I thought I had more time. I thought I was going to go closer to my due date. So yeah, we're just getting a quick little rundown at this point since we're getting induced. It's a little bit more unexpected. I found out a few days ago that I was getting induced, and I just didn't have time to do it this week before today. So yeah, this is as good as it's gonna get.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Put the game face on.
My game face is on.
It's time to go. All right, we're gonna practice. All right, we've been breathing. Okay, you know what to do. Okay, you've been trained for this. You done did it before too. It's showtime. All right.
So IVs are in. They're going to start, I think, Cervidil because I'm not dilated. So Cervidil will soften my cervix. So we're about to do that, and then we'll see from there.
What's up, y'all? So we've been here about 4 hours so far. Everything's been going well. They did insert the Cervidil. So it's been about 2 hours, right? It's been about 2 hours since that's been in. She's having some minor contractions. They're coming in and out, but everything else is good. We also have passed the point of no return as far as the epidural goes. She chose not to have it, just like the first time, so she's gonna do this naturally. So everything's going good right now. She's resting, look like she's going in and out of sleep. She said she's not gonna take a nap, but I think she's gonna take a nap. Last time she was taking a nap. But yeah, everything's going good, so we'll keep y'all updated. How we doing?
We're making it.
You making it? She's doing good. She's doing great. She's having some contractions every couple minutes, and they're getting longer, so I think we're getting closer. I think he's gonna be here before midnight.
We'll see.
I hope he's here before midnight. But yeah, they said we have until 10 o'clock. That's the 12-hour period for the Cervidil. So at that point, that's when they can do the, what is it called? The Pitocin?
They were gonna check my cervix to see.
Yeah, they gotta check her cervix, and then they might start the Pitocin after that. So we'll see. We're hoping that he comes before that. It's possible. So we'll see what happens. So I want to give y'all a quick update. I know the last thing Jasmine wants to do right now is give y'all an update, but I'm gonna give y'all one. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and things are getting interesting. She's having more and more contractions. They actually just started her on some Pitocin, just a little bit, just to kind of get things going along, and switch some positions to some hands and knee positioning, to try to position the baby in the right place. But yeah, it's looking like it's possibly gonna be happening soon. Probably, I would say in the next couple of hours. So we'll see. But yeah, I just want to give y'all that quick update.
We're good to go. All right, so you guys saw the footage that we had from our labor and delivery experience. We didn't finish out that footage. Too much going on. So we did as much filming as we could. But yeah, we just wanted to come and actually give y'all a birth story since we didn't finish it out. So let's rewind back to maybe like a week and a half before I got induced. I went to a doctor's appointment. I think I was around probably 37 weeks maybe. I got induced at 38 weeks. Maybe it was like 36, almost 37 weeks. Went to an appointment. They were already saying that he was measuring a little bit smaller than normal, but the first time they discovered that, they were like, oh, it's fine, you know, he'll grow, no need to be worried, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, cool. So the second time I went after that, the doctor, she was like, yeah, we were noticing that he was measuring smaller than normal, so I would like to do a, what's it called? A non-stress test. Right. She wanted to do a non-stress test, and then she wanted to do another ultrasound just to check and see, like, I guess his progression on the weight and everything. Yeah. So long story short, we went through all of that, and she's like, I'm waiting in the room for the results from the non-stress test, the ultrasound, everything. She comes back in the room and she's like, are you busy tomorrow? Because we would like to induce you. I was like, girl, no, like, I'm not getting induced tomorrow. What's the issue? Because
without even telling the test results.
Yeah. Just saying, oh, we need to induce you tomorrow. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting induced tomorrow. Like, give me some more details. Because the first time when they did a growth ultrasound, basically to see where the baby was in terms of growth and weight. And like I said, the first time they said it wasn't
a huge concern.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge concern. Like, there was no big deal about it. So
right.
I thought that everything was fine.
Yeah.
So the second time when they did the non-stress test and everything, and she comes back in the room and she's like, oh, we need to induce you tomorrow. I'm like, pause. Yeah. Because what? So we went through that. She started explaining everything. Basically, it's called in-uterine growth restriction. If you've ever heard of that, it's IUGR, where the baby just doesn't grow where they need to be in correlation with the amount of weeks you are. So I think he was measuring 5 pounds at that time. Because when he was born, he was 5 pounds, 7 ounces. So he did grow a little bit more from the time that they did all of that to the time that I got induced. Yeah,
they was just saying he was behind.
Yeah, just behind.
According to the amount of weeks that they projected him to be. Yeah. And at that point, I think we were 3 weeks out from his due date.
Because I was 37. I was 37 weeks. So so long story short, I'm telling her, like, yeah, no, I'm not getting induced tomorrow. Like, can we push it off to next week? Because I was like, I wasn't understanding. For one, I wanted to do my own research on IUGR and the whole thing to see if the induction was necessary. Because I got induced with Kinsley, and I was hoping not to get induced this time. So I just wanted to make sure it wasn't anything unnecessary. I was fine with getting induced if it was medically necessary, but I just wanted to do my own research. Right. So I told her I wanted to see if he would grow a little bit more. So I was like, can we push it off like a week? Can we push it off? This was a Friday. So she was saying the most we can push it off is Monday. And so I'm like, okay. And she was like, you know, if something happens or, you know, if for some reason we need to cancel the induction, we can. So she went ahead and scheduled the induction for Monday. And like I said, this was on Friday. So we go through the weekend. I'm doing my research. We're praying about it, trying to see like, okay, am I getting induced on Monday or what? So we decided that when we go to the appointment on Monday, because I had an appointment before the scheduled induction that Monday. So we go to the appointment and we were like, okay, we're going to ask her if we can push it off till that Friday. Yeah. Like to give him a little bit more time to try to grow before we get him out. Yeah. And I was full term at this point, so that's a good thing. I wasn't like super early on, because some people with IUGR, they deliver really early. Yeah. So I was already full term.
And we don't, the whole reason we went through that process is because we don't believe in being rushed and forced into making decisions based on what the doctor's telling us, especially when we found out that the test results were fine. Yeah,
his heartbeat was fine. Yeah. The fluid, everything was fine. So there was nothing other than his weight that showed that I need to get induced. So I was like, if it was like, okay, you know, the fluid's low or something, then it would be like, okay, yeah, go ahead and induce me now. Yeah. But there were, from the test results, the non-stress test came back great. So I'm like, why am I getting induced? Like, why can't he just chill in there till closer to his due date? So fast forward to Monday. Like I said, we had that appointment. We went to the appointment. We asked her, you know, can we push it off to Friday? She's like, well, they don't like to do inductions on Friday. You know, they like to do stuff on their own time. It's the weekend. They don't want you in there. So I'm like, okay, what about Wednesday, Thursday? I'm trying to push it off as far as I can, because my nana was coming that Wednesday to watch Kinsley. So I was really trying to at least make it to when she got here, so we wouldn't have to do our backup plan as far as Kinsley being taken care of. So she's like, well, let me go call the hospital and see if we can push it off till Wednesday or whatever. So she comes back and she's like, they did agree on Thursday. And that's what we preferred. Yeah. We was like, okay, at least it's Thursday. We were hoping for Friday. But I'm like, okay, that's close enough. Nana will be here. Kinsley will be taken care of. We'll be good to go. So that's that. Fast forward till Thursday. They told us, make sure before your induction time, call the hospital and see if they have a room available for you before you come. So at 5 p.m. on Thursday, I was supposed to call the hospital. So I did. Yeah. They said they didn't have a room ready for me.
Which we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
We knew it.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I had to already make sure our bags were packed and everything just in case. So she was like, yeah, just go ahead and eat dinner. It might be in the middle of the night, early morning, before we get you in. Just be on standby. So I'm like, okay. Or she told me to call back at a certain time, I think. I don't know. So, you know, we're chilling, we eat dinner, whatever. So I get a call later that night, and she's like, hey, we still don't have a room for you. Just letting you know, we'll call you when we're ready for you to come in. So, okay, cool. So we're just waiting around. You know, I'm like, I might as well go to sleep. I kept my phone on like loud right by me so I wouldn't miss the call when they called me. So she ended up calling me at 7 a.m. So I originally called them at 5 p.m. on Thursday. They called me at 7 a.m. Friday and said, okay, we're ready for you to come in. Yeah. Which worked out because we wanted a Friday induction. Right. So I'm like, well, it is what it is. So as soon as she called, popped up, we got dressed. We went and had breakfast, and then we made it to the hospital. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool how every time, like before the inductions, we always have time to eat a meal together. Yeah, our last
meal before it. So that was good. I appreciated that.
That's the good thing about inductions. The good thing is you're not rushing. You're not trying to hurry up and make it to the hospital. Yeah. You're vibing. You chilling because it's like, okay, we know we're about to go in. We can eat a meal together, make our way in slowly. Like, just take your time. Yeah. So that is the good thing about inductions. It was the same way with Kinsley. Her story was a little bit different because with the blood pressure issues or whatever, they told us to go home, eat, come back that same night to be induced. So hers was a little bit more urgent. But we still were able to have a meal together. We went out to eat, actually. Came home, took a shower.
What did we eat?
Chili's. Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah, that's our tradition.
I guess. So, yeah. That's a good thing about inductions. But As far as the actual induction, so rewind to when she said that she wanted to induce me originally. I told her.
I'm gonna go check on Chase.
Yeah, I think he's cutting up. Just a second. Okay. So, yeah, when she originally said she wanted to induce me, I wasn't planning on getting cervical checks because, one, they're very uncomfortable. And I was talking to one doctor about it, and she made me realize, like, cervical checks really are unnecessary. I mean, it does nothing for you if you're doing it, like, if you're 37 weeks, 38 weeks, 36 weeks getting cervical checks, it does nothing for you. Like, yeah, it'll tell you if you're dilated a little bit, but it does nothing. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna wait until it's necessary for me to get checked. But when she told me that I was gonna get induced, I'm like, okay, well, just go ahead and check to see if I am dilated at all, since you're planning on inducing me. And I wasn't dilated at all. So when it came time to the actual induction, they had to give me Cervidil, and Cervidil softens your cervix to try to encourage dilation. That was different because I didn't have that with Kinsley. I think I must have already been dilated a little bit to where they didn't have to give me anything to soften my cervix to encourage that. But this time around, because I wasn't dilated at all, like I said, they had to give me Cervidil before the Pitocin. So the process was very long. They inserted the Cervidil. It was a 12-hour process. You had to leave that in for 12 hours. Then they take it out. They see if you're dilated or whatever. And then they start the Pitocin, which actually kickstarts the induction. What was different this time, because I was on Cervidil, I started feeling those contractions a lot earlier than when I was induced the first time. So before the Pitocin even started, when I only had the Cervidil in me, them contractions, I was like, okay, now it's kicking up. When this is the beginning, like, this is a bit much. But the Cervidil did its job, because after the 12 hours, I was 3 centimeters.
Yeah.
3 centimeters dilated. So it did its job, because I think sometimes people will get Cervidil or whatever the other one is called, and they still won't be dilated after. Like, it won't do what it's supposed to do, and it's a longer process. So I'm grateful that I was at least dilated after the first 12-hour process.
Yeah. They said that like the process was going good enough where you didn't have to be on that much Pitocin. Like they only use a very small dose of Pitocin after the Cervidil.
When they took the Cervidil out, she was like, yeah, you're 3 centimeters. And like I said, the contractions had already kick-started. So she was like, well, since your contractions are already going, like, maybe you won't even need Pitocin. Like, maybe you'll just be able to, you know, go ahead and your body will do it naturally and you'll be good to go. Yeah. But they ended up, so I sat for a little bit. They gave me, okay, let me rewind. After the 12-hour process, they gave me an hour break. They took the Cervidil out. They gave me an hour break. She was like, go ahead, take a shower, you know, get your mind right, and then we'll start the Pitocin, or we'll start back up after an hour. And like I said, the contractions had already started. Took a shower, you know, got refreshed and everything. So they waited a little bit to give me Pitocin after we started back up, because they were like, the contractions already started, maybe you won't need it. But they ended up giving me the Pitocin, which is fine. I'm not scared of Pitocin because I already did it, and I know that it's not that bad. So yeah, they started the Pitocin, and they were starting on low doses at first. I did notice the closer and closer he got to be in there, they started amping up the Pitocin, because you can see the levels that they give you of Pitocin. So at first it was just like, you know, low levels of Pitocin, wasn't much.
I didn't notice that though.
Yeah, because I think it got to an 8.
I was too busy applying back pressure.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
The whole
when
time.
I say, so Kinsley's induction was different. I still felt the pain. I did it with no epidural. I didn't have an epidural with my first, and I didn't have an epidural this time. And they say Pitocin makes the contractions even worse. Her induction was different because I feel like I felt a lot of back pain with her. And then this time I felt a lot of back pain with every contraction, but I feel like it was just more. It was amplified earlier on, so I had to deal with the pain for a longer amount of time. So yeah, they gave me Pitocin, so we're making it through. And baby, them contractions started coming on so strong. I said, yeah. So we got to the hospital at 9:30 on Friday. He was born on 6 p.m. on Saturday. That's a long time to be dealing with contractions, okay? Because they started early. So I was trying to push through, and I literally thought to myself, several moments thought to myself, I'm not gonna be able to make it. Like, can they cut this baby out of me? Because this is just like, I was making it through, but it was so prolonged, and I'm like, bro, I'm tired. I would have a contraction that I would make it through, and I would catch myself falling asleep, and the contraction would wake me back up because I was exhausted. When Saturday came, after all day Friday going through that, and Saturday was there, I was like, yeah, I'm tired. Like, I don't want to do this no more.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna make it. When he gonna come? I'm just like, I just want the baby out of me at this point.
I was getting the full workout, just so y'all know.
So I was gonna talk about pain management and how I make it through contractions, because I feel like I cracked the code this time. All right, we're back. We plugged the camera up.
Back in the game.
So I did forget one part. So when they first put in the Cervidil, this is earlier on, like maybe like an hour or two deep into the process. So this was really early on. The doctor comes in and she's like, the anesthesiologist, they took my blood and they noticed my platelets were low. So she was like, the anesthesiologist said that if you want the epidural, you have to get it now because your platelets are low. I guess they didn't want to wait. I don't know the science or the medical, behind that. But because my platelets were low, she was like, if you want the epidural, we'll place it in you. I don't know how it works. They said they'll place it in me, but I don't have to get the medication.
Yeah, they'll put the catheter in you.
Oh, okay.
And then just leave it there. And you
just in case I want it.
With a catheter in your bag, just in case. I'm like, that is going to be the most uncomfortable thing ever. She's like, no, you're not going to feel it. I'm like, okay, for real?
Yeah,
you got
so
a
she was like,
put in your spine, and you're not gonna feel it, and you're having contractions, and you're in labor. I'm like, all right, this don't sound right to me.
Yeah, because I told them my plan was to go natural. I said I went natural was my first, my plan is to go natural this time. So like, okay, so that's why she came and asked me. She was like, I know you want to go natural, but if you want to, we can just place it in you just in case you want the epidural. But now it's basically your only chance to get it. So if you wait until you 8 centimeters and now you want it, you can't get it, She was like, this is the only moment. So I'm like, I wasn't planning on getting the epidural, but the fact that she even brought it to my head, I was like, okay, what if I get deep in and I'm like, no, I really can't do this. Like, what if it's different than the first time? Every labor is different. So I was like, I don't know how it's going to be. Do I really want to thug it out and try to do it natural like I planned, or do I want to have this backup? So it's basically, like I said, she was going to place it in, but they wouldn't give me the medication. So she was like, it'll still be natural if you don't get the medication in. You'll just have it placed in you just in case you do want it, but your only option to do that is now.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, do I want to get this place in me? I'm looking at Chavis, so I'm like, should I do it?
I didn't want to answer for you.
Yeah.
So I just kind of stayed quiet the whole time, just peeping everything. And the craziest thing, you said no the first time.
We didn't have any issues with them pressuring us except for this time. And I actually like this doctor.
Yeah.
So she's a good doctor, but I said no, and she was like, are you sure? Like, basically
trying to
keep
pressure. And I'm
kind of pressure. She's like, are you sure?
Okay.
Like, just in case you want the epidural, like, this is your only chance. You're not gonna be able to get it. And I said no, and she's still pushing. And I'm like, bro, should I just get it? Like,
I was like, bro, my wife said no. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I said no. Don't keep asking, because it was hard enough to make that decision.
Change the vibes, because we had a great experience.
Yeah, it was
up
was
to
good.
that point. And I was like, you know what? Let me just not get to that point, because she's about to make me mad. I have no sleep. She's trying to pressure my wife, and we know what we're doing.
Yeah. So long story short, I ended up deciding not to even get it placed in me. I was like, yeah, it is what it is. Like, I was planning to go natural. You gonna ride it out and you gonna go natural. And like I said, I actually did like that doctor, but that was the only thing. It's like, girl, don't pressure me. I told you no once. Ride with my answer, and that's it.
But why? But anyway.
So anywho. So yeah, that was that. So I had no choice but to go natural, which was fine because that was my plan anyway. I decided against the epidural. But I think I did crack the code on how to make it through a natural birth. So one, I had been on TikTok looking up, it's called hypnobirthing or something like that. And I had never taken a class to figure out what that was, but I looked it up just randomly, I was just watching videos. And there was a breathing technique that they said is really good if you want to do a natural birth. And it was breathing in for 4 seconds, breathing out for 8. That is literally how I made it through all the way up to pushing him out of me. Through every contraction, if you breathe in for 4, breathe out for 8, I don't know if it just grounds you or it helps you get through the contractions. That helped me a lot, those breathing techniques. With Kinsley's birth, Chavis was not really involved. Like, he didn't have to like really help me deal with the contractions. Like, I just dealt with it.
It was supernatural. Like, she handled the pain very well. Like, the doctors were even amazed. Like, she was.
You talking about the first time or
both?
The first time. Yeah.
Well, really both.
It's really
to be honest
both.
with you. But the first time, she was really like a champ. Like, you were dilating, and they was like, "You're good." Like,
yeah, they even said that this time.
This baby's getting ready to come. And I was like, "For real?"
Yeah, both
times. She was just sitting there laying on the bed with the peanut ball.
Yeah, until the very end.
Oh yeah.
And that told me up the first time. But this time, they were even saying that they was like, "You're doing better than our people with the epidurals." And I'm like, yeah,
right.
Am I? Because in my mind, I'm dealing with this. It hurts. Like, the pain is strong, but I just knew how to deal with it, I guess. So like I said, those breathing techniques, breathing in for 4, out for 8, it helps you make it through the contractions. Then it really is a supernatural, giving birth is a supernatural spiritual experience for me, because even with Kinsley in this time, we played worship music both times, but I prayed through my contractions. It helps. You gotta like meditate, pray. I'm like, my body was made for this. I'm telling myself this through every contraction because they're so strong, and it's like you can feel defeated. You can feel like I'm not gonna make it through this, but prayer, the breathing techniques, affirmations, telling myself like I can make it through this. My body was made for this, so we're gonna get through it. Those 3 things really helped me. The difference this time was I also needed your help, because he had to apply like back pressure. He would take his hands and like on my back and literally push against my back like super hard
during the contractions.
Yeah, and it helped me get through. It lessened the pressure of the contractions.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, well, I guess because I didn't know this, maybe a lot of first time moms won't know this, that you feel contractions in your back. So they might not know that.
I do. I don't know if I guess everybody do. I don't know. I do though.
I think it's because like the muscles, like this entire area, your core and your back muscles
all linked
are all
together.
contracting together.
Yeah. I felt like my back was on fire. Literally. Felt like my back was on fire. So him putting that pressure, literally it was hours. And I felt bad because I was like, I am wearing him out. Okay? He had I think he was wearing a hoodie. He started taking hoodies off. He's like, bro, like, it's getting hot in here.
I stripped down, man.
I literally was telling him.
Sweat.
He was working just like I was, because I'm like, you have to apply pressure. Like, I'm not going to make it. So literally with every contraction, I was telling him, sometimes I would tell him to like move his hands up, move your hands down. Like, you have to press. Yeah. And it's not no little baby pressure. Yeah. I need you to put every strength, every bone in your body needs to be like applying this pressure.
And it got to the point where she wasn't even giving me no breaks no more in between contractions. It was just like,
because I didn't have
constant pressure. And I was like, bro, I ain't even been in the gym. I am hurting.
I couldn't. It was like they got so bad where it was like I was bossing you around. I was like, you got to, like, you got to apply pressure. I'm not gonna make it. So that was that. I actually really appreciate you for that, because you did help. Like I said, the breathing techniques, prayer, affirmations, meditation, all of that stuff helps, but you really helped too. Like, all of that together helped me get through it this time.
I think during, we know the power behind physical touch, right? Transferring energy. I guess some people will say energy, but it's a spiritual connection. Yeah. So it kind of help ease the pain, especially when you're on the same page. Yeah. Equally yoked.
Yeah, giving birth, especially natural, for me, it is 100% a spiritual experience. Yeah. For me, it really is. Like, that's just bottom line. That's how I make it through.
They end up breaking the water.
Oh, so like we said, they didn't pressure us. Other than that one time, she was kind of pushing a little bit. They didn't pressure us. They kind of just let me do my thing. They was like, she obviously know what she doing. Let her ride it out. Like, they wasn't pressuring me to like speed up the process. Nothing. Yeah. So we got far along. I don't know how many centimeters I was. Maybe 6 or 7.
think it was like 7.
Maybe it's 7 because
like 7.
at 8 I got my water broke with
Yeah.
Kinsley, so it was 7, I think.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know, they did the check or whatever, and they started talking about like, okay, we can break your water, you know, and obviously at that point it speeds it up, and it's like, okay, it's game time. And I knew that, so I'm like, well, let me just give myself a little bit more time because I was only 7 centimeters, so I wanted to be farther along.
Yeah, they said the service was like 85% gone.
Yeah, so they was like, we can break your water, and he's gonna come shortly after. And at this point, when I tell you, this was like closer to Saturday evening, I was literally exhausted, physically exhausted. I'm like, I just want him to come. Like, I want this to be over at this point. So I told him, I was like, well, give me a second to think about it. They gave me the choice. They was like, well, whenever you want us to break your water, we'll break it. So they left the room, gave me some time. So I was making it through them contractions, and I was like, we were talking about it, and I was like, yeah, I think it's time to go ahead and break this water because I'm tired of this. So they did. Well, they came back in. I was making it through contractions, so they had to sit there and wait. I was like, yeah, don't touch me until I get through this. So yeah, my contractions were very, very, very long. But yeah, so they broke my water, and it was literally like from that moment, and I wasn't even that far dilated. I think it just progressed so fast.
I think it was like 20 minutes, bro.
Yeah, in my head, maybe it was like 20 minutes because it felt like it was like that.
It was like 20, maybe it was like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
max.
They did that, and it was game time. Okay, I immediately started feeling like, okay, yep, he's about to come.
Yeah.
So I was on my side dealing with the contractions or making it through the contractions. And she was asking me like, okay, do you want to deliver him on your back, on your side? Like, how do you want to push him out? And I felt so comfortable in that position. I said, yeah, no, I ain't moving. So I'm going to be on my side. And that's how I pushed him out. But yeah, that's like the full birth story. I don't think I forgot anything. It was a very long process. It was like, what, 36, 35 hours, 33 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
Over 30 hours.
Yeah. Long process.
And I felt every one of them 30 hours.
But I was right. Chase came during a Georgia football game. Okay? He came during the game.
He came smack dab
He's
in the
a
middle
dog.
of the game.
Through and through.
And he was watching football the whole labor.
I was not watching it. I
Yes,
just had
you
it
was.
playing in the background. I had it playing in the back. How could I watch it when I'm sitting there
We was
doing
listening
deadlifts?
You was listening to it.
Yeah, and Georgia was losing to Auburn. And then I was like, I'm gonna turn this off because that's getting on my nerves and I'm getting a workout. Let me just turn this off. And then once I checked later, I found out they came back and won, and that happened like during the birth process.
While
I was
he was
my boy
coming
Chase,
out.
my boy Chase he's gonna be a dog, man.
So if you don't know, he's a huge Georgia football fan.
Yeah, he's gonna be a
huge.
dog.
And he was watching football with Kinsley too. It was like, it's always during football season. Every event we had, even our wedding, always during football season.
Yeah.
So it was just funny that he literally came during the Georgia game.
Yeah, that's the tip for the dads out there. You wanna have some peace during the labor process. Make sure you bring your Bible and make sure you time it up where it's football season, right? So you can have some noise in the background and you're watching some college football. It just can't. It don't get no better than that.
Yeah.
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 If your favorite team is gonna win.
Yeah. It's so funny because, I don't know, I was talking to my mom about something. I don't know if she was saying make sure you say prayed up or pray. I don't know, something. And I was like, do you know who I'm married to? Like, it's so funny because he would have no clothes in his suitcase. But one thing that was coming to that hospital was that Bible. He ain't going nowhere without that Bible.
Yeah.
So the Bible and football, okay?
I was trying to read though. I was reading some scriptures and I was...
We was tired.
Yeah.
There was moments during the labor. I was dealing with contractions because I was on the bed and I was on the ball and I was just trying to get through it. Yeah. So I'm on the ball, I'm bouncing, and I look over and he like this. He passed out and I'm like, oh, this joker just sleep.
Yeah,
I wish I could
so
just
tired.
be asleep.
I was so tired.
Yeah, he was knocked out.
So tired.
But it wasn't a bad experience.
It was good. The nurses were great.
Yeah, they were great. They were
experience.
encouraging. They were great. They were like, we're what did they say? I don't know if they said we gotta watch out for you or something, because I was dealing with the contractions. I guess from the outside looking in, I was dealing with them so well, they weren't gonna know when it was time for me to push. Because they asked him, they was like, was she this calm with her first one?
I said yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I guess it's just how I deal with it. They were like, okay, please tell us when you feel an urge to push, because you're not showing no signs of like
struggle.
Screaming. Like I'm like, no, I'm gonna let y'all know. Yeah. But yeah, they was like, was she just calm the first time?
Yeah, they tried to hire me too. They said I was a doula.
Yeah, they was. He really was in there like.
Yeah.
Doula worthy for real.
Right.
I was like, okay, you really involved this time.
Yeah,
they was like, okay, because he would, when every time I had to go to the bathroom, he would unhook all the stuff, the monitors, because I was attached to a monitor the whole time, and then you would plug it back up and everything. They was like, okay, we need to hire you because you know what you're doing. But yeah, good experience. Very, very, very long labor. The recovery process felt better though, because I didn't tear. But yeah.
Yeah,
that was the birth story.
And then we got Chase.
Yep, he came September 30th at 6:16 p.m. He was 5 pounds 7 ounces, and he was great. Yeah. Oh, I did want you to speak on, because you can speak on this better than me, but the placenta. So it was a good thing that they induced me. So the IUGR, in uterine growth restriction, him being smaller, because they said they wanted to induce me because they didn't know if the placenta was the reason why he wasn't growing. The possibility that the placenta wasn't giving him the nutrients that he needed. So when I delivered the placenta, they saw like, okay, the placenta probably was the reason.
Right. I seen they were looking at it. I seen them looking at the umbilical cord too. It was twisted, so it almost looked like a braid, and they said that was abnormal.
They were like examining it.
Yeah, the connection between the cord and the placenta, it was very frail. It just wasn't a strong connection. So that's probably what was going on. It was twisted and but it was good though.
Yeah, and he said he noticed the difference between Kinsley's and this time.
Yeah,
I didn't see it, so he said he noticed like something was kind of off about it.
Like a spiral. I was like, that's not how Kinsley looked. It was unique.
But he came out perfectly fine, perfectly healthy. We just we've been watching out for like his weight or whatever, but he started to get his weight up, so we're good on that. And everything's good. Luckily they induced me. I'm still glad I did my research so I could fully understand why I was getting induced. But that's the birth story. Everything went, I would say everything still went. It went good.
It went great. Except for the food after that, but I ain't gonna talk about that. Y'all gotta do something about the hospital food. Y'all got to.
It was so trash.
She ordered chicken nuggets, thinking that there was gonna be regular fried chicken nuggets.
Yeah, because that's all they didn't have good options. So I'm like, okay, let me choose whatever I can
They brought in baked chicken nuggets. Now, if you're wondering what that looks like, it's literally like steamed chicken, pieces of white meat, and they are like in chicken nugget form. Like that.
The food was not. I wasn't feeling the food at all. So when they gave me the options, I was just like, okay, let me choose something that might potentially be something that I could eat. I didn't even eat most of that stuff. He was going out getting food. Yeah. So that was still with Kinsley. You went out and got food too, though.
Yeah, I did.
Because our experience with hospital food is just not good.
Hospital food is a no-go.
So that's the birth story. Sorry we didn't give y'all a full actual clips of it, because we got y'all the footage that we were able to get, and that was it. Okay, after a while I was like, bump the vlog, bump content. I'm not even worried about the camera at this point. He's about to start cutting up
again.
So that's the end of this video, y'all. We will see y'all in the next one. We hope y'all enjoyed this story time, and that's it. That's it for now. See you in the next video.